You're watching We Only Talk About Peanut Butter, the show devoted to all things made of, featuring, and flavored by peanut butter! I'm Tucker, and peanut butter is more than just a food. It's almost a makeup? No. It's summertime, peanutters, and nothing says summer like a pie. Except for a lot of other summery stuff. But whatever, it's pie. Pie is fun because it's a circle, and circles are fun. Cutting into a pie makes us think of fun stuff like pie charts and Trivial Pursuit game pieces and Pac-Man and plenty of pizza leftovers and cartoon wheels of cheese. Pies also have crust, which is a word that sounds disgusting and tasty at the same time, which is also fun. And the crust of a pie holds stuff, which reminds us of being held as a baby, which was also fun because we didn't have to do all. But right now, peanutters, we don't have the luxury of being babied because today our show will be a combination of a pie eating contest and a bake-off. Well, it's a no bake-off. We'll be slicing into a couple of the most widely available peanut butter pies on the market to find out whose rendition of this delicious dessert is worth your dollars. And then we'll be doing some taste testing to figure out which possible recipe construction of a peanut butter pie produces the most satisfying result. So put on your bibs, bikinis, and bathing caps, and let's jump into the middle of some pie. But before we do that, leave us a like. First up, the peanut butter cream pie by Marie Callender. Marie Callender is or was actually a restaurant and not just a frozen food maker, which I didn't know, but we're not going to delve deep into the history of Marie Callender since other YouTubers have done a great job at that, so check for a link in the description if you want to learn something. The one piece of history that matters the most to me about Marie Callender is this meme from Tumblr. Remember Tumblr? From a blog about people randomly writing on a restaurant's Facebook page, and this person, Geraldine, registered her deep disappointment in Marie Callender's pumpkin pie. Love it. Does Mrs. Callender's peanut butter cream pie fare better than pumpkin did, according to Geraldine? Not really. Peanut butter cream pie is one of the most straightforward peanut butter pie filling combinations out there. Cream and peanut butter whipped into a flavor frenzy, but this one is soulless and sad, which I guess one should expect from a mass-produced food item, but I just don't get some of the choices here. Firstly, the crust is almost unpalatable on purpose somehow. I can taste all the stabilizers they used to keep the crust from crumbling when you slice into it. It tastes clinical and gross. The chocolate chips have a lingering chemical aftertaste, and for whatever reason, they're using a kind of Swiss meringue for what would normally be whipped cream topping if you were making this from scratch, which is wild since whipped topping freezes beautifully. The ingredients list on this thing could double as a diction exercise, which is not a good sign. What a shame. The peanut butter filling is fine-ish, I guess, but that alone cannot save this pie from the chemical tastes in the crust and chocolate chips and the bewildering substitution of Swiss meringue for whipped cream, which is why the official rating for Marie Callender's peanut butter cream pie is a demoralizing 0 nuts out of 5. Cheap piece of junk pumpkin pie. Let's ask our bear on the street, Teddy, what he thought of this pie.
I don't know what this is in my mouth.
The next pie we're padding up to is Costco's chocolate peanut butter pie. This pie is huge, apparently in real life, but also on social media where it has gone viral. Okay, I can't keep up the charade anymore. I have to be 100% real here and admit to a slight transgression of what one might call clickbait. You see, peanutters, I'm not actually going to rate the Costco peanut butter pie today. But wait, I actually have reasons. Number one, I couldn't get my hands on it. This is a seasonal item, apparently at the Costco's in my area because I called a lot of them and I could not get it. Number two, I don't feel comfortable right now recommending an item that requires people to incur a membership fee in order to purchase it. Most importantly, number three, let's cut through the hype about this pie. This is a basic cream cheese peanut butter pie. Cream cheese and whipped cream are the most often used ingredients to fabricate a peanut butter pie filling. When I heard the social media hoopla about this pie, I thought that Costco must be doing something really proprietary and novel with mousse, or some kind of different filling base that's combined magically somehow with peanut butter, but literally the peanut butter filling in the Costco peanut butter pie is as generic as one can get. It's the same basic recipe you'd get from Ree Drummond or Laura Vitale or All Recipes or the New York Times or basically anybody with a recipe blog. This means we're not exactly rating the Costco chocolate peanut butter pie today, but in a way we are, because nearly every no-bake peanut butter pie is the Costco peanut butter pie. And because I made a copycat version at home, albeit smaller, courtesy of the recipe by this lovely woman named Patty. I hope my slight act of clickbait that I've done here means I get to do an apology video now. That sounds so fun! Digging into our copycat Costco peanut butter pie, it's pretty delicious, light, and familiar. Your parents or grandparents may have brought a similar pie to parties or family gatherings when you were growing up. The crust is buttery, the cream cheese peanut butter filling is meant to be nicely salty sweet, and the chocolate layer is meant to be rich, with some bitter notes that we normally get with a chocolate and peanut butter pairing. What we're really rating here is whether cream cheese actually makes the most sense as a filling base for a peanut butter pie. When I look beyond the nostalgia of this ubiquitous recipe and really consider the taste of this pie filling, cream cheese mixed with peanut butter is good, but I will say I rarely see a commercial cream cheese peanut butter pie where this filling takes center stage without relying on chocolate to kind of balance it out. I think that's because cream cheese has a tang and saltiness and fat ratio that can kind of compete with peanut butter rather than really highlight it. With these insights considered, I'm going to say that our official rating for cream cheese peanut butter pie filling is a respectable 3 nuts out of 5. Teddy, as my crisis PR spokesperson, please use I feel statements to describe this pie.
I can't believe Costco's charging $20 for this.
Slicing through the hype about cream cheese-based peanut butter pies got me thinking, is there a better filling base for a peanut butter pie? Well, Peanutters, we did some recipe tinkering and tested 5 other possible fillings to rate against one another. To control some of the variables of this test, we tried to make sure the ratio of the base across all the recipes was equal. We settled on using Skippy peanut butter like we did for the cream cheese pie, and we did our best to keep the peanut butter volume standard in each mix. Buckle up, peanut butter party people, because it's time for another PB Lightning round of ratings! I'm going to give each peanut butter pie base our usual rating out of 5 nuts, and then pass the mic to Teddy for some additional color commentary. Let's get nutty! First up, cottage cheese. This ingredient is also apparently having a moment on social media, which is hilarious to me since I've been eating it for years while people said it was gross. I use the filet mignon, the fillet mignon of cottage cheese, which is of course Friendship whipped cottage cheese, and it combined with peanut butter pretty well. Cottage cheese is kind of a few stops down the train line from cream cheese flavor-wise, so it makes sense. We were of course missing the fat in this filling, but it was a solid mix. Official rating 2 out of 5 nuts. Teddy, I treasure our friendship.
This is diet food.
Next up, mascarpone. I haven't been a huge fan of mascarpone in the past because I associate it with cannoli, and I've actually only had one cannoli in my life that really tasted good. It's just a really hard dessert to do. Mascarpone is obviously also on the same train line as cream cheese and cottage cheese, but it kind of deserves its own set of tracks now that I've tasted it in a peanut butter pie because this was delicious. The texture was sublime, just unreal levels of silkiness. The cheese flavor was not overpowering at all, and the fat ratio made the filling feel luxurious and not just a pedestrian pie. Official rating, 4 out of 5 nuts. Teddy, that's amore. I have no idea what I'm saying.
Tastier than cream cheese.
Moving on to our next filling base, Swiss meringue. I love a good meringue, but unfortunately mine wasn't fantastic volume-wise since it kind of stayed the consistency of marshmallow fluff after I cooked the egg whites, but whatever, it's going in a pie. Speaking of fluff, vanilla Swiss meringue and marshmallow fluff can kind of taste similar since they basically share the same ingredients, so what I have made here is basically a peanut butter fluff pie. It's super sweet. It basically tastes like candy. Seriously, give it to your kids, or don't if you want to have a clean house and kids with teeth. Official rating 2 out of 5 nuts. Teddy, let's whip this into shape.
It's so sweet I almost passed out.
Next up, aquafaba. This is literally chickpea juice. It's basically the liquid left over from a can of chickpeas or the leftover soaking water from rehydrating dried chickpeas. Yes, it sounds and smells kind of disgusting. However, with sugar and a high-powered mixer, it can become a whipped topping of sorts that is entirely plant-based. I tasted the aquafaba transformed into whipped cream before I combined it with peanut butter, and it was pretty good. It didn't taste like chickpea water, but it also didn't have an extremely deep flavor of its own, and that actually turned out to be gold for this recipe. Because the aquafaba whip is not flavor-forward on its own, it took on lots of peanut butter flavor. I think being derived from legumes and paired with ground up legumes like peanuts also conspired to make an extremely nutty filling. I've never tasted a peanut butter pie filling that was so peanut butter forward as this aquafaba filling was. It's made a believer out of me, which is why its official rating is 5. That's right, 5 out of 5 nuts. Teddy, do you think this is fabulous?
Like peanut butter punched me in the mouth.
Last filling, mousse. I noticed that recipes for peanut butter mousse online often list cream cheese as an ingredient, which I think is kind of bunk because cream cheese is not an ingredient in normal mousse. I wanted to see how mousse might pair with peanut butter, so I cheated, and I bought an instant mix, which is French vanilla flavored, hence the slightly jaundiced pallor of this filling. I have to say it was delicious. It was nice to have a mousse-like texture with peanut butter flavor that had 0 notes of cream cheese in it. Official rating, 4 out of 5 nuts. Teddy, do you break for mousse?
I love mousse.
Well, Peanutters, that concludes another PB Lightning Round of Ratings. The clear winner of this group is the aquafaba, with the mascarpone in a close second. After making 6 no-bake pies, including the Costco copycat, I started to wonder why peanut butter pie seems to be, by default, a no-bake, chilled dessert. It made me curious to know if there were any commercial bakers out there attempting a baked peanut butter pie. I couldn't even really conceptualize what a baked peanut butter pie might be like, but luckily Wick's Pies is here to fill in the blanks for us. Wick's is famous for their baked custard pies, particularly the sugar cream pie. They've crafted a peanut butter custard version, and I have to say, I've never tasted anything like it. It's a pie with a pastry crust and a rich, deeply developed peanut butter custard. The sugars in the custard are nicely caramelized, the peanut butter flavor has a deeper roasted taste that kind of elevates the whole dessert, and the crust provides a nice, salty, buttery note to bring it all together. I was really floored by this pie. It's simple and straightforward, but it also has such a different flavor from the no-bake pies that it kind of puts it in a class by itself. It's definitely a pie that really broadened my horizons on peanut butter pie in general, on top of being delicious, which is why the official rating for Wick's peanut butter custard pie is 5. Yup, once again, 5 out of 5 nuts. Teddy, baked or not, your opinion is always welcome.
I've never seen one of these in the wild.
Moving on, we've got one more pie, but before we do that, now would be a good time to subscribe. Now back to the video. So far, we've seen the not baked and the actually baked peanut butter pies. So what else is there? Well, there's also the things that defy pie logic, and one of those things is Milkbar's Peanut Butter Crunch Pie. Milkbar is a bakery, the brainchild of this gorgeous princess from heaven, pastry goddess Christina Tosi, and she describes her establishment as being, quote, known for familiar yet unexpected desserts. And I can say that characterization seems pretty apt. I read the description of the Peanut Butter Crunch Pie, and it sounded more like a Rice Krispies treat than an actual pie, but I kept an open mind because why the hell not? Right? Now, Christina, if you're watching, you're not watching, but whatever. Christina, if you're watching, cover your eyes. This was how this pie came to my house. Face down and forlorn, like the time my mom fell face first into a recycling bin when she was trying to help me move into college. Yes, I laughed at her. It was awesome. With the regrettable packaging behind us, I sliced into this pie, and as I suspected, it is not a pie. Sorry, Christina, I love you, but this is not a pie. It just isn't. There's no crust, and pies usually have a crust and also a semi-liquid filling component, so it is not a pie, but that's okay. It's still really interesting. This is basically finely ground Rice Krispies tossed in a peanut butter mixture with a slight coconut flavor, enrobed in chocolate and lightly sprinkled with chopped peanuts. The texture is almost like a freeze-dried peanut butter pie, so if we're being generous here, we could say it's Space Camp Science Museum peanut butter pie realness. I don't know. It's still literally a Rice Krispies treat that Whole Foods kind of does a version of and you could do for a fraction of the price at home. As a pie, the peanut butter crunch pie from Milkbar is a 0, but because it was tasty and showed some thought at least, we can say that for the peanut butter experience in general, the official rating is 1 nut out of 5. Teddy, you went to space camp. What do you think?
I was promised pie.
So peanutters, we've seen the peanut butter pies in the skies, and if I had to have a peanut butter pick of the day, I'd give it to the Aquafaba peanut butter pie. Who knew that the hot dog water of plant-based cuisine could give us the peanut butter pie of our dreams? Well, for today, that's all the peanut butter persiflage we have. Are you a peanut butter lover? Tell us about your favorite treats in the comments. Leave us a like on the video and subscribe for more peanut butter content saturation. Thanks for watching.